It's another hand intro. I'm watching Rossman's video, A Rant on Elitist Gatekeeping. Okay. Elitist gatekeeping. Well, give me a moment. I gotta break that down. The elitist part is the bullshit part. Gatekeeping alone is itself a tool that can be used. It can prevent assholes and pieces of shit from doing stupid shit with knowledge they don't need because they're genuinely a piece of shit to begin with. Or, on the other hand, it can keep people who need that knowledge from obtaining it, whether they're ready or not. Depends on how the tool is implemented. Now, that's the balance of that blade cutting through stupidity. And here's the reason why some types of gatekeeping are needed. Well, the first reason is one of those. Okay, let me get into this. Humanity is fucked, just in the general sense of the species holistically. Humanity, from my observations, and these are constant observations that have repeatedly sprung up time and time again. And it's not just historically proven, it's still going on. With that context in mind, here it is. The human species, at the individualistic level, seems to define its existence through simultaneously taking in as much pain and enduring it as possible and inflicting as much pain as possible on others in various ways. In the Greek and Roman times, it was the gladiators and feeding people to lions for sport to be watched and laughed at and shit. And now it's bureaucrats, politicians, lobbyists, and business CEOs all shitting on you emotionally, psychologically, and, oh yeah, in their elitist way, just being a bitch and seeing how much of it you'll take and put up with. Now, the other thing he said within the first 51 seconds of this that ties into it. But I'm trying to remember the exact words he used. Oh, fuck it, I'll just rewind this.
Lovely day. I read a page that really just pissed me off today, and I want to talk about it here a little bit. I've said this a lot on this channel. One of the reasons that we get screwed is... I'm kidding, I'm doing a video. One of the reasons that you get screwed is when Ford or Chevy or General Motors does something fucked up, instead of saying, oh yeah, that's kind of messed up, we do this thing where we say, you're an idiot. If you bought my preferred brand of car, then you wouldn't have the thing spy on you. And we always do this thing where we shit on the person who got fucked over rather than trying to work together to make sure that people don't get fucked over. And so what am I talking about here? You know,
yeah, he's talking about the same thing that I've said as an observation. He's giving a very detailed example compared to my generalization. He's talking about when a company fucks someone over and everyone else is saying, ha ha, fuck you, you should have bought a different brand. Well, everybody, what happens when literally all the brands are doing the exact same damn thing? And Louis Rossman is already well aware that assholes in Congress are putting all of this bullshit that spies on you into every fucking car you can buy now. First, it was just low jacks. Then it was GPS systems. And now they're putting in this bullshit about passive monitoring systems to detect if you're drunk in your own car and then shutting it off. And kill switches that they can just remotely access and turn off when the fuck ever they want. It starts with one company or one small test vehicle, and then it branches out. It never stays small when you're talking about governments. Because as I've said before, historically, what's been proven through action, and it's not just recently, it's throughout all of human history. What has historically been proven to be the truth of the definition of a government is a group of assholes who want to control everyone and everything else. And Lewis wants people to be a society. And historically, very sparsely within human history, it's been proven that a society is a group of beings, no matter what species they are, working together for mutual benefit of everyone involved. Here's some examples of that. Farmers have sheep to shear for wool and kill for meat and sell, but wolves keep eating them. What happens? They started getting sheepdogs to guard and take care of the flock along with them. There's another one. It's a stereotype, but there's places where it's perfectly accurate. Humans have a rodent infestation problem. They get a cat to come in and live with them and help out with that. And that's led to not the taming or the domestication of cats, but the incorporation of cats into society. It doesn't benefit the rats and mice, but it does benefit everyone else involved. Somewhat of a poor example, but still, it proves my point. 2/3 of the way there, though. The mice are the ones getting fucked over. But the humans and the cats are working together, and the humans and the dogs are working together. And when the ones with the humans and the dogs and the sheep, 3 out of 4 of those are benefiting. The wolves just have to go off and find something else to eat. Anyway, the point is quite simply, Lewis wants everyone to work together instead of being a prick and a bitch to each other. So why the fuck are people still doing this bullshit where they point and laugh? Okay, well, that's simple psychology. Mirror neurons in the brain. That old psychological shtick. Monkey see, monkey do is the shorthanded explanation, the oversimplified version of it. You see a behavior, you act out that behavior. That's how an infant learns from birth, by the way. That's why those mirror neurons exist in your brain. That's why all those cliques in high school with, let's see, there were the jocks, there were the greasers back in the 50s and 60s and 70s. There were the cheerleaders. There were the nerds. That's why all these cliques got together and grouped up with like-minded individuals, and they shunned people outside of the group. Yeah, that carried on into society. And I say society loosely. very loosely. So loose it has a lisp. And that mirror neuron activation also happens with media you watch and hear and read. Monkey see, monkey do. Control the media, control the mind. That's a parallel processing bit right along in with this. So you can see how movies, TV shows, books, and all this other stuff contributes to the psychology of the individual and the group holistic collectively. All of these things are going on simultaneously. Plus, there's the other thing I've mentioned before. When a population gets to a certain size, you're meeting so many people out there and you can't keep track of them all, and it just becomes background noise and valueless lives, as I put it. You don't value one of the individuals you see because there's so goddamn many of them out there that you're like, fuck it, why should I even bother? It's all psychology. And that's where humanity is right now. People don't want to talk about it. One YouTuber I saw, Second Thought, thinks that the world's not overpopulated, but the psychology of valueless lives and everyone being overwhelmed with so many people that they just don't want to give a fuck about anybody anymore, it proves otherwise, even if no one's done the math yet. Also, yeah, governments know this shit. That's why they're doing all this dumb shit. Instead of coming out and saying it openly and bluntly, yeah, the world's overpopulated. We need to kill about 80% of everybody. They don't want to come out and say that because then they will instantly start a fucking violent conflict. So they want to go around behind everyone's backs being pieces of shit, which has led into the things Lewis is on about. The constraining of your rights at every level and allowing corporations to fuck you over in multiple ways that are unheard of like 30 years ago, but now they're like, yeah, whatever, fuck it, who cares? They're manufacturing the crime and the outrage into a violent conflict so that they can justify whatever means they see fit to apply to population reduction. So it's not just what Lewis is seeing that is part of it. There's so much more to it. Yeah, there's a counter argument of someone like, what was it, Elon Musk saying have more babies. Yeah, there's a counter there, but that's a false flag. That's disinformation to keep everyone from knowing exactly what's going on because they want to keep you stupid and retarded. Which is why Generation Z and Generation A aren't learning shit in school, how to read, how to think critically, and they're basically indolent. But anyway, all of that, yes, it's all going on simultaneously. It's all contributing, and what Lewis is talking about is just one small speck of it. One piece of the holistic truth. There, I've just told you about some of the elitist gatekeeping that they really don't want you knowing about. Their plan to reduce the population. And how batshit fucking pussy ass scaredy wusses, meanderingly, pointlessly stupid it is. Yes, it's a contributing factor to everything that's going on, No, it is not directly linked to what Lewis was talking about in his video, but it is indirectly contributing. They're manufacturing the crime so that they can punish it, because they want to take people out of society and kill them. So that's why they're letting corporations get away with doing dumb, retarded, corrupt shit. That indirect line linking all into that. Now, continuing along.
I go into the robot vacuum, and every time I visit, I throw a towel or some shit on this, I unplug it. Like, I just, call me paranoid, I just don't like getting out of things devices with a fucking camera and a microphone that are in my, like, just no. And there's I'll include links down below to where these things have been hacked before and people have gone through all this shit. But I have to admit, as much as this thing is, I hate it, it's convenient. It's convenient. You know, I vacuum on a regular, I have cats that like to just fuck up my entire house on a regular basis and destroy everything, and they leave a little dust in there.
Lewis, get to the point of your video.
I do clean my own house. When I get home, I spend now 30 to 40 minutes every time I get home looking for every area that Mr. Clinton has pissed or pooped and tried to hide it because he didn't want to make it to any one of the 4 litter boxes throughout my house, since he has a heart problem, a thyroid problem, and a kidney problem all in one. He's 17 years old. So it would be nice to have something that just does that stuff for me. So after spending 30 to 40 minutes looking for his piss and his poop when I get home, I don't also have to then sweep, vacuum, and mop my house. It's one of these things that's like fundamentally a waste of time. And vacuums have been getting shittier and shittier as I've been getting older. You can buy these vacuums that like, they're just not made the way they were 20 or 30 years ago. So I figured if I'm going to get another vacuum, I might as well get one that just does it on its own. But I don't want something that spies on me. So I started doing some research to figure out, can I do that? Has there been somebody out there that's made some sort of open source or rooted thing to make...
Oh, Lewis, you want someone who's made their own Roomba. What's the YouTuber? Michael Reeves. Hold on. I'm going to pause my video here and look up his channel. Give me a minute. Found it. It's in his popular videos category. Yeah, there's the channel, Michael Reeves. And yeah, the Roomba that screams when it bumps into stuff. He took it apart, reprogrammed it, and yeah, he could probably, along with a few other dudes who know coding. The most obvious that I know of would be Code Bullet. He could probably help somewhat with programming your own custom-made Roomba. So, yeah, me saying all this is offering a solution to the problem instead of saying, haha, fuck you, you're an idiot. See? There's the example, everyone. Dare I say it? It'll probably get me into trouble later. Fuck it, I'll roll with it. A leader leads by example. There's your example. I pointed out someone else who has done the thing that Lewis wants to accomplish. Your own custom programmed Roomba. Granted, it's not exactly as he wanted it to be, to where it doesn't spy on him, but there's someone who can do it. I've pointed him out and offered an extra person I know who routinely does programming. Code Bullet does programming. Michael Reeves has done the hardware. And you know what? Here's a third dude who could probably give you some hardware designs, more in the aesthetic category. Yuri Tuchman. Yeah, that guy. There are at least 3 other YouTubers I watch who would do the hardware and the software and the programming for all of it. And you could build your own fucking Roomba and get past all the spyware bullshit. There. I just can't remember which YouTubers they are. No, wait, Dosh Doshington. He has an engineering degree to prove it. He can do it. He definitely can. That's one of the others that I remembered. AVE up in Canada. That Canadian genius, that motherfucking crazy ass genius, he could point out how to counter the failure modes and help you along. Who else? I can't remember the other ones right now. But there's people who have YouTube channels that I've pointed out that can help fix the problem. All any of you have to do is get in contact with each other. Lewis, I've said names. I've pointed to at least one channel on YouTube. You could all collab together and make your own product. You might have to look up the patents to avoid getting sued, but you can do it. And as long as you make your own stuff. Oh yeah, that company PCB Way, you can send stuff off to them and have them send you back a fucking board and 3D printed bits and all that. The resources are out there, everybody. There you go. There's a potential solution for everyone to work together on. Now, prove me right or wrong, and hopefully someone has watched this video to the end and shares it with Lewis and gets the ball rolling on that project. And as far as gatekeeping this goes, if you keep it open source, then nobody can fuck with it, right? Until they do. But at that point, I think that an armed, violent conflict will have already broken out, and World War III will be well underway. Why am I happy about it? Oh, because I hate humanity holistically. On the other hand, the individual can be even a friend. And I support Louis Rossman in his endeavor to unshitify the world. He's one of the few that I find worth saying go support him. Louis, set up a fucking Patreon. Everyone else, you jump into his and mine. And AVE's. Who else? I don't know right now. Alright, that's the end. Share this with Louis boy. Louis. I'm not going to sing about it. Alright, that's the end. Bye.